Have you ever wondered if you can truly fall head over heels for someone
Oh, yeah.
you've never met face to face?
It's a great question.
Yeah, and it's more relevant now than ever, I think, with
Definitely.
online dating and all that.
Yeah, all the virtual connections and everything.
Yeah, so we're going to do a deep dive today
Okay.
into a podcast
Sounds good.
called Love in the Digital Age,
Mm-hmm.
and it tackles this very question.
Yep.
They had some relationship experts and online dating coaches
So cool.
weighing in.
I can't wait to hear what
Yeah.
they have to say.
Get ready.
It's so interesting. You know how technology
Mm-hmm.
has really blurred the lines now
Yeah.
between the digital world and our actual real lives.
Right.
It makes you think what does love really mean?
Yes, exactly. What does love even mean?
Right.
Can a heart emoji,
Yeah, can a heart emoji?
actually make your heart skip a beat?
Exactly.
No.
The podcast really starts by exploring this whole idea
Yep.
that, emotional connections can be just as strong online
Okay.
as they are in person.
Interesting.
One of the experts, Dr. Elena,
Mm-hmm.
she believes that you can have genuine feelings develop online.
Okay.
But she does caution that virtual relationships
Right.
can lack that depth that comes from physical interaction.
But then how do you get to know someone?
That's a really good question.
When you've never shared a meal or
Right.
laughed at their terrible jokes in person
Yeah,
or just felt that undeniable spark
Yeah,
when you're in the same room.
that's the thing. It's hard to know.
Mm-hmm.
How do you really
Yeah.
establish trust in online relationships?
Right. Are you falling for the person or
Yeah.
the persona that they're projecting online?
Exactly.
The perfectly lit selfies and the witty captions, the
Yeah.
carefully chosen Instagram filters.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there,
Yeah.
scrolling through those profiles and wondering,
Yeah.
is this really them?
Yeah.
So the podcast brings in an online relationship coach
Okay.
named Jake.
Okay.
And he offers a really interesting perspective.
Okay.
He acknowledges that there is potential
Okay.
for genuine love online,
Mm-hmm.
but he encourages people to
Okay.
eventually meet face-to-face
Okay.
to test the connection.
In reality.
In a reality, yeah.
So it's you're building a foundation online,
All right.
but then taking it offline to see if it can stand on its own 2 feet.
Exactly. And that's when you really start to
Yeah.
see the complexity of love and how,
Right.
everybody defines it differently.
Yeah, because everyone has different expectations and needs
Precisely.
when it comes to love.
Jake brings up a great point.
Yeah.
The definition of love really does vary from person to person.
Yeah.
For some people, it might be purely emotional,
Yeah.
while others, they need that physical presence to feel truly connected.
It's so true. But, despite all the challenges,
Yeah.
the podcast highlights some unexpected advantages, too,
Yeah, what are those?
of online love, especially for people
Okay.
who might struggle with social anxiety or shyness.
Oh, so true. Yeah,
Online platforms
totally.
can be a game changer for those who find it hard
Yeah.
to connect in more traditional ways.
Right.
It provides a safe space to express yourself.
Yeah, without the pressure
Yeah.
of face-to-face interaction.
Totally. You can just dip your toes in the dating pool
Exactly.
without having to
Yeah.
cannonball right in.
Yeah, you're not jumping in the deep end.
Exactly. And then, there's the distance factor.
That's right.
Online connections can bridge the gap
Absolutely.
between people who live in different cities or countries.
Or even continents.
Or even continents.
Yeah.
It really opens up
A whole world of possibility.
a whole world
Yeah.
that might not have existed before.
It really does.
So with all this talk about the pros and cons,
Right.
the big question still remains.
What?
If a relationship starts online,
Yeah.
is it really essential
Yeah.
to eventually meet in person?
That is the question, isn't it?
That's the $1 question.
Yeah, the podcast really dives into that,
Okay.
highlighting the importance of eventually
Mm-hmm.
meeting face-to-face
Okay.
to really solidify a serious relationship.
Okay.
It takes things to the next level.
Right.
And you're making sure you're not building this connection based on
Yeah.
a fantasy or an idealized version of someone.
It's about making sure that those virtual sparks
Yeah.
can ignite a real fire when you're finally in the same room.
That's right.
So it's like
Yeah.
you're taking that leap of faith
Yeah.
and saying,
You're
okay,
taking that chance.
this feels real online, but
Yeah.
let's see if it feels just as real when we're
Yeah, when you're face to face.
standing face to face.
Exactly. And it also helps to address those
Right.
concerns about authenticity.
Totally.
You're not just
Yeah.
interacting with the carefully curated
Right.
online persona anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're meeting the real person,
The real deal.
the real deal with all their quirks and imperfections.
Right. So it sounds like the ideal scenario might be finding that balance.
What is that?
Building a strong emotional foundation online.
Okay.
And then taking the plunge
Yeah.
to meet in person to see
Good to see what happens.
if the connection deepens further.
That seems to be the sweet spot.
Okay.
It lets you benefit
Hmm.
from all the advantages of the online connection.
Right.
Like that safe space to open up and,
Right.
the ability to connect with people
Yeah.
beyond those geographical boundaries.
Right. But then also acknowledging the importance of physical presence
Yes,
in a truly fulfilling relationship.
absolutely.
So you really get the best of both worlds.
You
You
do.
nurture that emotional connection online
Yeah.
and then see if it blossoms into something more when you're finally together in person.
It really speaks to the evolving nature of love and relationships
It does.
in this digital age.
Yeah.
We're constantly
Mm.
adapting and finding new ways to connect.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating to
Yeah.
see how technology is shaping all these experiences.
It's like we're rewriting the rules of love in real
I
time.
know, it's crazy, right?
It really is.
We're figuring out how to navigate
Yeah.
this whole new landscape of
Yeah.
virtual and real life connections.
Totally. And that's exciting.
It is. It is.
It challenges us to be
Yes.
a little more mindful,
Yeah.
more intentional,
More open-minded.
more open-minded about how we
Yeah, sure.
approach love and relationships.
I love that perspective.
I do too.
It's not about
Mm-hmm.
clinging to these old-fashioned notions of how love should be.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah.
embracing the possibilities
Right.
that technology offers.
And recognizing that there's no one size fits all.
Exactly. When it comes to love,
What works for one person
doesn't for another.
might not work for another.
And that's okay.
Exactly. It's
Hey.
about finding what feels right for you
Totally.
and being open to new ways
Yes.
of connecting with others.
And ultimately, it really comes down to
Oh.
defining what love means
Okay.
to you.
Yeah.
What are your non-negotiables?
Right.
What role does physical presence play in your definition of love?
Those are some big questions.
They are.
And there's no easy answer.
Right.
But the Love in the Digital Age podcast
Mm-hmm.
offers some final thoughts.
Okay, let's hear it.
They conclude that while emotional connections online
Okay.
can be very real
Yeah.
and powerful,
Mm-hmm.
in-person interaction often adds a vital layer of depth and understanding.
Okay, so it's not like a
Mhm.
simple yes or no
It's not
answer.
very,
It's about recognizing
Right,
all those
yeah.
nuances and the challenges
really in the
and
opportunities.
the incredible opportunities that come with navigating love in a digital world.
Totally. So that brings us to the end of our
yes.
deep dive into the question
Right.
of whether you can truly love someone
Yeah.
you've never met in person.
It's a tough one.
It is a complex issue,
Yeah.
but hopefully this exploration has given you some food for thought.
Yeah, some things to think about.
We've covered a lot of ground,
We did.
from the potential pitfalls
Yeah.
to the unexpected advantages that these online relationships
Right.
offer.
They do.
We explored the importance of
Yes.
defining your own version of love
Absolutely.
and recognizing that there's no one right way
Yeah,
to find a connection.
exactly.
And most importantly, we've highlighted the evolving nature of love and relationships
That's right.
in our increasingly digital world.
It is increasingly digital.
So to our amazing listeners
Yeah.
out there, we'll leave you with this
Yeah.
final thought-provoking question.
Okay.
How do you define love?
Mm.
And what role does physical presence play
Right.
in that definition for you?
It's a good question.
It is.
It's one worth pondering.
It is worth pondering.
As we kind of continue
Yeah.
to navigate this ever-evolving world
This crazy world.
of modern relationships.
Thanks for joining us
Go for it.
on this deep dive.
Until next time,
Until next time.
keep exploring, keep connecting,
Yeah.
keep those conversations about love going.
Keep them going.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's been great.
Yeah, it has.
Catch you later.
See ya.
So it's like you're taking that leap of faith and saying, okay, this feels real online,
Yeah.
but let's see if it feels just as real.
Right. When
Or when we're standing face to face.
Exactly. And it really helps to address like
Yeah,
those concerns about authenticity.
totally. Like you're not
You're not
just interacting with.
just a carefully curated online persona.
Exactly.
Anymore, you're meeting the real person
The real deal.
with all their quirks and imperfections.
Right. So it sounds like the ideal scenario is
Yeah.
like finding that balance,
Yeah.
building that strong emotional foundation online,
Yeah.
and then taking the plunge to meet in person and
You'd
see
see what happened.
if that connection deepens even further.
It seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
You know, you can benefit from
Yeah.
the advantages of online connection.
Totally.
Like that safe space
Mm-hmm.
to open up
Yeah.
the ability to connect with people beyond those geographical boundaries.
But then also acknowledging the importance of
Exactly.
physical presence
That's right.
in a truly fulfilling relationship.
Absolutely.
So you get the best of both worlds.
You do. You really do.
You nurture that emotional connection online,
Yeah.
and then you see if it blossoms into something even more
Exactly.
when you're finally together in person.
It speaks to the evolving nature of love and relationships
It does.
in this digital age.
Yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
we're constantly adapting and finding new ways to connect. And it's fascinating to see
It is.
how technology is shaping all of these experiences.
It's like we're rewriting the rules of love
I know.
in real time.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's wild.
Figuring out how to navigate this whole new landscape
I know.
of virtual and real life connections.
It's true. It is exciting, though.
It is. It is.
It challenges us to be more mindful, more intentional,
Or open-minded.
more open-minded about how we approach love and relationships.
I love that perspective.
Me too.
It's not about clinging
Right.
to these old-fashioned notions
Exactly.
of how love should be.
Yeah.
You know, it's about embracing the possibilities
Right.
that technology offers.
And recognizing that there's no one-size-fits-all answer
Exactly.
when it comes to love.
When it comes to love, that's so true.
What works for one person
Right? Might not.
might not work for another.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. It's about finding what feels right for you and being open to new ways of connecting with others.
And ultimately, it comes down to defining what love means
Okay.
to you.
Yeah.
What are your non-negotiables?
Right.
What role does physical presence play in your definition of love?
Those are some big questions.
They are big questions.
And there's no easy answer.
There really isn't.
But the Love in the Digital Age podcast does offer some final thoughts on this whole thing.
Okay, let's hear it.
They conclude that while emotional connections online
Okay.
can be very real and powerful,
Mm-hmm.
in-person interaction often adds that vital layer of depth and understanding.
So it's not a simple yes or no answer. It's about recognizing all those nuances and the challenges and the incredible opportunity that come with navigating love in this digital world.
That's so true.
It is.
So that brings us to the end
Wow.
of our deep dive
Okay.
into the question of, can you truly love someone?
You've never met in person.
Right. It's a big one.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Yeah.
But hopefully this exploration has given you some food for thought.
Definitely a lot to think about.
We covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
From the potential pitfalls to the unexpected advantages that these online relationships offer.
They do.
We explored the importance of defining your own version of love.
Absolutely.
And recognizing that there's no one right way to find connection.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we've highlighted the evolving nature of love and relationships.
That's right.
In our increasingly digital world.
It really is increasingly digital, isn't it?
It is so. To our amazing listeners out there, we'll leave you with this final thought-provoking question.
Hit me.
How do you define love? And what role does physical presence play in that definition for you?
That's a really good question.
It is. It's worth pondering.
It is worth pondering as we continue to navigate.
Yeah, this ever-evolving
crazy
world of modern relationships.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course.
Until next time.
Until next time.
It really is a fascinating time to be, exploring love and connection.
It is.
Who knows what the future holds?
I know, right?
For how we meet, connect, and build relationships.
Like, imagine a world where virtual reality dates are as common as like coffee shop meetups.
That's wild.
Or where AI algorithms help us find our perfect match.
Whoa.
Based on like our shared values and interests.
But in a way, we're already seeing like glimpses of that future.
We are.
With the rise of all these dating apps and online communities and stuff.
True.
The lines are getting blurrier.
They really are.
Between online and offline each and every day.
That brings us back to that question we've been grappling with.
Can you truly love someone you've never met?
Right.
Face to face.
And it's a question that will probably only become more relevant.
Right.
As technology continues to shape our lives.
Exactly. And it doesn't have a simple answer.
It doesn't.
There are strong arguments to be made on both sides.
There are.
The experts in the podcast acknowledged the power of online connection to foster genuine feelings.
Right. They shared a lot of stories of couples.
They did.
Who found lasting love online.
It proves that a deep emotional bond can be formed even without
physical presence.
Yeah. But they also emphasize the importance of real-world interaction.
Right.
To test and deepen the connection.
It's like building a house.
Yeah.
You can have a beautiful blueprint online.
Oh, yeah.
But you need those physical bricks and mortar.
You need those bricks.
To make it a home.
To build it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the main takeaway for me is that love in the digital age is about finding what works for you.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong answer.
There isn't.
And we should embrace all those different experiences.
Absolutely. So whether you're a hopeless romantic searching for your soulmate online, or someone who prefers those old-fashioned face-to-face encounters, remember that love
is a journey.
Is a journey, not a destination.
Not a destination.
And it's a journey that's constantly evolving.
Especially in our increasingly digital world.
It really is.
It is.
Keep an open mind. Be true to yourself.
Yes.
And never be afraid to explore new ways of connecting.
Yeah, who knows? You're happily ever after.
Exactly.
It might be just a click away.
It might be right around the corner.
It might be.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
On this deep dive into...
into the complexities of love.
The complexities of love in the digital age.
That's right.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Keep those conversations going.
Keep them going.
And be kind to yourselves and each other.
Be kind